Alright, welcome to round 5 of the FRL Division 1 Championship. Here we are in Miami for the feature race. Just a moment ago, in the short qualifying and the sprint, Max managed to win the sprint. Wolfer had pole, but lost out on a couple positions. Still managed to retain third. But I think it's going to be a very close battle between these top three. I think Emmy actually just hit the wall there, if I'm not mistaken. But, did he hit the wall again? Am I losing my mind? I think he may have just hit the wall again. But, there's a predicted pit stop strategy. It's interesting that it's changing per driver, but, we have a variety of tire choices, as seen here during the formation lap. So we have mostly hard runners, but a few medium runners. Max Verklappen, Henny, Sevi, Prid, Slayer, Taylor Boss, and Pink. Everybody else in the hard tire with two exceptions. Gio starting on the soft, as well as Dub starting on the back on the soft tire, and that is Sugi who has spun. Wait, no, that wasn't Sugi, that was actually Slayer who has spun. And I'm not too surprised. It's a little bit of a struggle to get grip around this track. This is one of the slippier circuits on the track, I would say. Honestly, I would say it's slippiest around turns 1 and 3. The very long left-hander just before the DRS zone is also a little bit of a slippy spot. And of course, that chicane at turns 14 and 15. It's a very awkward chicane. And it's very easy to mess up or get on the curb too hard. It's very easy to get oversteer on the exit. You can see these drivers doing a few wheel spins trying to warm up those tires before they get into their grid slot. You can see Envy doing the same. He's really trying to warm up these hard tires. But it's near impossible to do that, honestly, to get them properly warm. You can get them lukewarm, but not as warm as you would want it to be. Yeti and Prid both made a little bit of a mistake trying to get into their grid slot. Still, Prid actually did a very good job to get to P8. He started P13 in the sprint, finished 8th after he chose a soft tire, which was a pretty risky strategy, but he made it pay off. But let's see if Max can make another win happen as we have the 5 red lights coming on here in Miami. Dub gets a drive-through penalty for a jump start. It's lights out. Away we go. Max gets away pretty well, but Henny has a brilliant start. He's already up to second place, and oh, that's a collision near the back. That's triggered a huge amount of collisions. It is bumper cars all the way back at turn 1. I think someone had a little bit of a hesitation exiting. Someone bumped into the back of them, and it just triggered a whole chain reaction there. Oh, it's hard to tell in all that chaos, but Sebi is now in third. He had a brilliant start as well. Meanwhile, Pred has dropped all the way down to 10th. Oh, and he's got wing damage as well. He's missing the right end plate on his front wing. Meanwhile, Wolfer is down on his log as well and down a few positions. Now, Envy is under threat of potentially losing position. Taylor Boss is getting really close here. I think we're about to have a three-way battle for fourth. Taylor looking to put himself alongside Slayer. Can he get ahead? No, he can, as Slayer's busy trying to make a move on the Red Bull of Envy. This is going to be very close between the three of them. I think Taylor is going to look for a double move. He bumps into the back of Envy. Now he's going to brake very late. Going into turn 1, he gets ahead, but now Slayer looks around on the inside, manages to get ahead. What a little skirmish there. Wolver spins into the wall, breaks his front wing. Oh, and that's really bad for him. He's going to have to remain where he is as well until everybody else gets through. And, did he reset the track? If he did, that would be a 10-second penalty applied, but that spin has just cost Wolfer heavily. He has no front wing and he needs to pit, and he just started on hard tires. but many others pitted behind him. Jim, Prid, Yeti, Sugi, and Ghostly all had to pit for mediums. Dub is already out of the race. Oh, that's unfortunate. He's had very poor luck. Yellow flag in Sector 2. Not sure what happened, but meanwhile, Haas is in a great position. They're currently running 3rd and 4th, which is great at their home race nonetheless. And, I think the timing tables are a little bit bugged. Somehow Slayer is negative. I don't know how that's possible. He's behind, and yet he's okay. He's completely. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, great. The new lab managed to reset them. Now Slayer is properly set. He's still very close behind with Envy chasing. Yellow flying in Sector 2. That's the Alpine of Ghostly who has spun. Meanwhile, Zip, Wolfer, and Ando are all pitting. They all need to get new front wings. At this point, the only thing that can save all these drivers is a safety car. Sketchy Bull gets a 3-second time penalty for what I assume will be track limits. But Sketchy Bull has other problems to worry about. He's got a Mercedes coming up very fast with the aid of DRS. Going around the outside. Are we about to have 3 wide here? Envy's looking for a potential opportunity. Can't find a way through, but you can see their Sketchy Bull had a little bit of an issue, had a bit of oversteer, and then shut the door on Envy before he could potentially sneak his way past. And all this battling has allowed Taylor Boss to keep up very well, with Pink gaining a lot of ground and bringing Gio along with him. Now Sketchy Bull is chasing here. Can he potentially get back ahead of Slayer? No, he can't. He's going to have to look for another opportunity, but Sebi here, I think, sees an opportunity to potentially get a hold of 2nd place. Henny is defending as hard as he can. He really wants to get this podium, and he very much has it potentially in the cards. Meanwhile, the other half of Sketchy Bull, he's trying to battle Slayer here, but his hard tires are still taking a little bit to light up, while Slayer's running just fine. They're both on different strategies, and the fact that Sketchy is keeping up, despite being on a slower tire, shows that Sketchy Bull's pace is quite promising around here. Meanwhile, Sebi is going to be dumping a whole lot of ERS and using a whole lot of DRS, hoping to get enough speed to get alongside the AlphaTauri, but he simply can't. Henny is a rocket on the straight, it looks like. And he just can't find a way through for now. His teammate, in a pretty similar situation, albeit with a Mercedes in front of him instead of an AlphaTauri. Meanwhile, Taylor Boss, he's looking to sink his way around the outside of Envy. Can't make it happen just yet. Pink also doing his best to catch up, but he's struggling because it looks like he's got damage. Indeed he does. He's missing the right end plate on his front wing. Meanwhile, Sketchy Bull finally has the pace he's looking for to get alongside, now ahead of Slayer. But I think Slayer may be looking for a switchback. No, he can't. Meanwhile, Sebi has actually lost quite a bit of time to Henny. I think he may have had a bit of a mistake. Meanwhile, Gio makes his way into the pits. I'm assuming it's for a new front wing, because I don't think the soft tires would die off that quickly. And indeed, they are getting a new front wing for him. Now we pretty much have 2 races going on. The ones who didn't break their front wings and those who did. And there's a pretty sizable gap between all of them. Meanwhile, Slayer is getting rapidly on Sketchy Bull. Not enough to make a move just yet, but he's going to have another opportunity down the back straight. But he's gonna have to watch out. He's got a Red Bull and Aston Martin chasing right behind, looking for an opportunity. And Pink is doing quite well to close the gap. And that's Slayer who is spun! Well, on the bright side, he doesn't have to worry about overtaking Sketchy Bull anymore. On the downside, he's lost quite a few positions. Meanwhile, Yeti manages to put himself ahead of Freddy's now in 11th place. Now, Envy could be in a pretty bad spot, but he just manages to hold on to DRS. If he didn't get that, Taylor very well could have had the pace to get alongside and make a move. But Envy is having a little bit of struggle here. Sketchy Bull is looking quite rapid. It's doing him a lot of favors. But Envy looks to be closing that gap now at Sector 1. Yellow flag at Sector 3. That is Jim who is spun. And he's going to make his way into the pits as well. Oh, well, I can see why he went in. He's completely lost his front wing. Wolfer is making his way into the pits as well because it is a full safety car. And now he's putting on the hard tire. And actually, that should be able to make it to the end. Okay, great. They are already 2 laps old, but he could make it. He very well could make it to the end on that set of hard tires. He'll be struggling by the end, but it is certainly possible. So this safety car is going to allow all these drivers further back to get back into the fight. The question I'm wondering is, what will Max, Henny, and Sebi do? Technically, they could pit right now and get a set of hards, and that would make it to the end. I think that's Max's game plan. Henny and Sebi both appear to be doing the same. And checking, looks like Max is indeed going for the hard tire. Henny looks to be doing the same. And Sebi, oh, he's getting a new front wing as well. That's going to cost him a bit of time and perhaps a position or two. But now he's going to be able to make his way out. You know, it looks like Geo is choosing to stay out, and he's going to be able to gain a couple positions here. Ping has managed to go in, and this could be his final stop as well. But he's struggling on these really cold, hard tires. You can see him nearly spinning out there, but managing to save the car. I mean, as stated within the rules, the tire blankets, they're basically being reduced in their effectiveness. Eventually, tire blankets will be entirely eliminated, and they will no longer be usable at all on the grid. So it's going to be interesting to see how drivers cope with that in the future. I think they're implementing it either next year or 2024. I know they're doing it within the next 2 years, though. Well, the safety car has been kind of a saving grace for all those drivers in the back who suffered off the start and had to go to the pits for wing damage. They are now potentially back in the fight. Sketchy and Envy choosing to stay out. I mean, they are on hard tires. I don't blame them for staying out. There would be no point in going in because mediums, they could make it to the end, but I would not want to pull a risk like that. I think something has happened back here. Unsure what's going on. A few positions have been changed. Oh, that's Yeti making his way into the pits. He was only out for 1 lap, did he get wing damage? Yes. Yes, he has. He's entirely missing his front wing. And then the mechanic leaves with a fully intact front wing where there was no front wing whatsoever. Brilliant. Now Yenny will be able to make his way out, and he's on his old mediums. And Sketchy Bull has spun! He spun right when he was in the lead! Oh, that is absolutely unfortunate for him. He's going to be stuck in 12th now when he was going to be leading the restart. And he's got a penalty as well. Well, now Envy has a pretty good advantage going for him. The problem is, he'll need to pit one more time. The 5 drivers behind him probably won't. And potentially even J-Joe can make it to the end, though those mediums are going to be absolutely struggling by then. The hards, at this point, they could absolutely make it to the end. So we're going to have one more lap of the safety car, and then we'll be able to resume. But Sketchy Bull, he's now going in. Looks like he's making a strategy call now. He doesn't have much of a choice with his wing damage, but he's going on for mediums. Now actually, I think these mediums could make it to the end. He would be struggling, but it's certainly a little more doable than J-Joe, whose tires are a couple laps older. Because he just needs to be careful and manage his tires well, and he can finish on this set. Meanwhile, I think Prid had a bit of a spin, and he got wing damage as well. You can see his end plate just right there on the wall. Well, the problem is, like I said before, it's a struggle to get good traction around here, and it's very hard to warm up the hard tires, especially under a safety car. It's practically impossible. So he was on cold hards on a slippery track, and he ended up spinning. Unfortunately, he's missing the left end plate of his front wing. Or rather, well, if you look at it from his point of view, it would be the left end plate, but if you were looking at it via the front, it would be the right. I guess it's its left. It's its left. We're not going to get into technicalities about that. Anyways, Envy will be leading them off the start, but he's got Max right behind. We saw them battle at the sprint, and I think we're about to have a rematch. But Envy's at a pretty big disadvantage. His tires are 4 times as old as Max. But Envy will have the advantage of leading the restart, so if he does well, he could jump them off and build up a pretty good gap. And he manages to take off, not as well as I think he would have hoped. And he's actually trying to weave to warm up his tires a little bit. Meanwhile, J-Joe's looking to make a move around the outside, and Sugi and Jim and Tonic have both crashed. What has happened at the back? Absolute chaos. Ghostly, Sugi, and Jim are all out of the race. Looks like there may have been a collision off the restart. Well, unfortunately, there isn't going to be another safety car anytime soon, because one just ended. Meanwhile, J-Joe is going to move up to 5th place. Now J-Joe taking advantage of this medium tire, which warms up far easier than the hard, giving him a good advantage, but now he's going to have to defend or risk losing position to Taylor, who's going to look to make a dive on the inside. Oh, and J-Joe, okay, technically, Taylor wasn't close enough to be entitled to space, but I think J-Joe still should have left him space. Yeah, that would be one for the stewards. Oh! Slayer spins out, going down the straight, and takes Taylor with him, and he gets a 5-second penalty for that. And looks like Sketchy Bull has crashed into them as well, and he's crashed. That's gonna be a safety car. Oh, that's unfortunate for Taylor. He's had horrific luck. Honestly, like, I hope that penalty gets taken off. It should. I mean, there was no way he could have reacted in time. Slayer spun out right in front of him. There was nothing he could have done. But now Gio, Ando, and Zitman are all making their way in. If they get a set of hard tires, they should be able to make it to the end. No problem. Actually, kind of surprised Envy didn't go in. I think that would have been a good call. Gio going out on a set of soft tires, he's definitely going to have to pit again. There's no way this set of softs will make it to the end. Still, all these safety cars is actually doing Dejo a favor, because that means he's going to be able to preserve his tires for that much longer. As well as, of course, the hard runners. And the more they can save their tires, the longer they will last, and the easier the ending will be for them. Looks like Ando's making his way in. Fred choosing to do so as well. Is it a strategy call or new front wing? Looks like it's a strategy call, and he's got a set of hard tires on. It was the ones that he had on before, and he actually should be able to make it to the end on that set as well. Meanwhile, Slayer's making his way in, and I think he's going to be doing the same. Indeed he is. He is getting on his older hards, and he'll also be able to make it to the end on this set. Meanwhile, Envy, he's gonna have to stop one more time, and that stop is gonna hurt him by the end. I think his only hope is to wait a little longer and hope another safety car triggers, and go in when that happens. Otherwise, Envy's gonna drop down heavily, and Max will be able to claim another victory. Okay, kind of surprised the safety car is going to come in. We're going to have yet another lap of this. But honestly, at this point, Emmy's only hope is for a safety car to trigger a little bit later on, and then he can pit again and make it to the end. But otherwise, he's going to drop down heavily and lose a lot of time in the pits. Because the three drivers behind him, and honestly even J-Joe, won't have to. Alright, as soon as Slayer catches up, we're probably gonna get the call from race control, stating the safety car will come in this lap. We do have everybody caught up now. We just have a little bit of a gap here that needs to close. Otherwise, we should be getting the call in just a moment. Now, I think we'll be leading him off. He did well last time. Can he do it again? Well, he's trying to do a little bit of wheel spinning there, trying to warm up his tires a little bit more because these hards, as I said before, very hard to warm up, especially under a safety car. And there's a confirmation of race control. Safety car will be in this lap. And he's going to do well to lead them off the start. Max Verstappen, he's going to be immediately chasing after Envy, but he can't underestimate the cars behind him. Henny and Sebi have been both looking very good at the moment, and I think it's only going to get better for them from here. But here we go now. Max getting very close, just waiting for the moment Envy takes off. And Envy does so. Again, Max reacting pretty well, though not as well as I think he would have hoped. Envy weaving down the straight, trying to warm up his tires a little bit. Jinjo diving very deep, looking to make a move past Sebi. Doesn't succeed, and now could be facing a little bit of threat. Oh, he spins out! But manages to recover. He got very lucky that he didn't hit the wall there, but he's lost a lot of positions for that and could lose another here as Prid looks to be making his way through, but Prid has to back out. Meanwhile, Yeti has actually lost a couple of positions. It looks like he may have had a bit of an incident. I'm not sure what happened, but now he's going to drop all the way down as Slayer makes his way past as well. Oh, but Yeti looks to be rapid on his straight. He's going to be able to make this move back. Meanwhile, Taylor Boss gets ahead of Gia to take a hold of 8th place. Yeti does get back ahead of Slayer, at least for the moment, but now going into this turn, it's going to be close between the two of them. Yeti gets a better exit, though, and manages to remain ahead. Slayer, though, looking to keep himself alongside, can't do so before the chicane, and so has to back out. Oh, and that was definitely a warning for track limits. He completely cut the chicane there. Meanwhile, Dejo gets ahead of Hando. He's going to be able to get back into the points positions. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen looks to be trying to make a move for the lead. Can he pull it off? By the end of turn 1, he's getting very close here, getting a little bit of slipstream. He's going to put his car on the outside. Can he get ahead of the Red Bull? He's looking to put himself alongside yet again going into turn 3. He's got the inside line and manages to make the move, getting ahead. Meanwhile, Henny is looking to be able to sneak his way alongside Envy. Going into this turn, a little bit of close racing. Henny, with a little bit of force there, manages to put himself ahead into second. That was a very aggressive move, but it paid off, and it kept clean. Meanwhile, Yeti has spun out. He's gonna lose a bit of time, and I think he may have gotten rear wing damage as well. Meanwhile, Wolver is looking to get alongside and ahead of Rich Sebi. Can he pull off this move? This is gonna be close by the end, but I think he has just pulled it off, and now Sebi has to slot in right behind him. We have a very close gap between the entirety of the top 10, honestly the entire field for the most part. This race is keeping very, very tight, and now Pink may be looking to make a move past Sebi. He's got the pace for it, but he chooses to back out, deciding to wait for a better opportunity, and that opportunity has presented itself as Reg Sebi goes wide, but looks like he can't pull it off just yet. Pink, though, he's going to get a better exit. Can he get ahead by turn 1? I think he can, but Sebi's got the inside line. Pink, despite keeping it very close, can't get ahead. Meanwhile, Henny is on the hunt, chasing after Max Verstappen, looking to make a move for the lead, perhaps. Oh, and Max goes very wide. That could leave him vulnerable. Question is DRS enabled yet? I don't think it is. I think we have one more lap before it is. But still, Henny is powerful along the straight, especially with a little bit of slipstream, to give him a hand. Meanwhile, Zipman looking to make a move on the inside of Killer Boss. Can he make the dive happen? He's trying to put himself alongside, but he can't get ahead. Oh, and Zook gets a little bit close to the wall there, nearly brushing his car against it. Oh, let's see, we have a little bit of a battle up here. Wolfer looking to find his way past the hatch yet again. Can he pull off this move? Looks like he finally can, and he's up into 4th place now. And now he's going to be chasing after Envy. DRS is enabled, but as I said before, Envy's tires are much older. His only hope is for another safety car to trigger. Otherwise, he's going to drop all the way down towards the back of the grid. Gio gets ahead of Gio, whose tires must be struggling just a little bit by now. And now Andos is going to be looking to make a move soon enough. Now, Envy, I don't think he got any DRS. No, he didn't. Wolver did, though. And he could have a very good opportunity to make a move, but he's just not close enough despite Envy having no ERS left. Actually, Max has plenty left, while Henny has nearly none, just trying his best to keep up with Max. Meanwhile, Killer Boss is on the chase after his own teammate. He should be able to make it to the end on this set of medium tires. And I think he's going to be able to make a move quite soon. Meanwhile, though, Wolfer looks to be making a move on Envy soon. But I think Henny had a little bit of an error, because he's lost a lot of time and could leave himself vulnerable now to Envy. Oh, Gio's now making his way into the pits. He's going to get, most likely, a set of mediums to go on until the end. He didn't have much of a choice. Yellow flag in Sector 1. Who is it that spun? I think that's... oh, no, that wasn't a spin at all. That's Yeti, who retired in the pits. Meanwhile, Envy, he once again does not have DRS. He is just out of range. And Wolfer could have a good opportunity to make a move, but he has no ERS left. Neither does Envy either. And now Max is pulling a very good gap. I think he's got a pretty safe victory on his hands. Meanwhile, Sebi is all on the rear end of Wolfer, looking to make a move. He's going to have enough pace to go on the inside into turn 1. Can he get ahead of the McLaren? This is going to be close, but Wolfer gets ahead. Oh, and Sebi nearly accidentally pit maneuvers Wolfer there. And that's going to leave them both vulnerable to Pink, looking to make a move on the inside. Pink, oh, it doesn't work. That is a horrific crash. Wolfer and Pink coming together, and it takes Sebi with them. Honestly, it's a little bit hard to say who would be at fault there, because it's hard for two cars to make their way together through that corner and do it safely. Wilbur, though, I think may have a bit of damage for that. J-Joe and Zipman going wheel to wheel. J-Joe actually bumping in... Oh, no, where's that? Zip bumping into J-Joe. I honestly couldn't tell there. J-Joe doing everything he can to get alongside the Alfa Romeo driver. And now he's going to have a decent opportunity to make a move. And J-Joe does succeed clearing the Alfa Romeo of Zip. He's now going to take 6th place. Oh, and I think Wolver, I think he got a little bit of oversteer there, nearly spinning out. That's going to give J-Joe a good run of DRS. But Zip is much more rapid. Actually, J-Joe couldn't get close enough. Zip is going to be able to make that move back and get ahead into 6th. J-Joe is still chasing after Zip. Can't make his way ahead just yet because Zip has another run of DRS as Wolfer is on the hunt after Taylor. Meanwhile, Envy is continuing to stay out. Unless the safety car comes up soon, Envy is... he is going to be able to finish in the points, I think. I think the gap is just too close to the rest of the field, and when he pits, he's going to drop down very far. Oh, and then he does pit, and he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane as well. That is really going to hurt him, and he's going to drop down all the way to 10th place. And he still has that penalty. Now at this point, Max has a pretty clear win, and if he keeps this up, will take 2nd. Taylor, he's still going to have to contest for that podium because he still has that McLaren chasing right behind him. Wolfer is looking to take any chance he can to make a move on him, but at the moment, Wolfer can't get past. And you still have Zip chasing right behind, as well as J-Joe. Now Wolfer is going to get a very good run. This is going to be good enough to get alongside. Will it be enough to get ahead by the end of this corner? It looks like it will be. Wolfer will move up into 3rd, but I think Taylor is going to attempt a bit of a switcheroo here. Can't do it just yet, but he's going to get a run of DRS, and I think he's going to be able to make that move back. Oh, it's going to be close. Wolfer barely giving him room, squeezing him on the inside, but it's no use. Taylor Boss gets back ahead, but Wolfer looking to get ahead on the inside. Taylor collides with Wolfer. Oh, and that puts Taylor out of the race. I think Taylor Bottas may have gotten understeer and collided there. Wolfer, I imagine, is a little bit displeased by that. Oh, and I think he attempted to just rage quit there and take himself out. But because he went straight on, he did not break his car. But now he's just spinning around. Needless to say, he's a bit enraged. But I think Envy is even more so, because if he just waited one lap longer, he could have been. Although, actually with the gap, it wouldn't be the worst idea for Max Verstappen and Henny to go in and get a set of softs. And Wolfer did intentionally crash himself out. Either that or he just retired on track. Well, I imagine a few angry words are going to be said by some of the drivers later. Max will indeed make his way into the pits, Henny doing the same. Actually, this may have played into Envy's hands as long as he manages to catch up enough. Ziv is pitting, J-Joe is pitting, Pink will pit as well. And also, honestly, it wouldn't be the worst idea for Envy to pit for a set of softs and get rid of that 5-second penalty. Honestly, either strategy would work, but he is going to make his way in. Slayer choosing to stay out. I don't think that was necessarily a wise strategy for him. He's on very old hard tires while everybody else is going to be on fresh softs. He's going to drop like a brick. And if he is going in, he is getting that 5-second penalty served, and he's still going to be in the points places. Unless, of course, Gio can get ahead of him. This is going to be close, but I think Gio has just managed to pull it off. No, he hasn't. And suddenly, this entire race has been flipped on its head. Where we were looking at a battle between Max, Envy, and Wolfer. Max is still in the lead, Envy's barely in the points, and Wolfer is completely out of the race. Oh, looks like Fred is making his way in. I think he's just deciding, you know what, I'm only going to lose a couple positions. It wouldn't hurt to be on a very fresh set of soft tires. And honestly, that's not the worst call to make for him. Oh, I think you got to get a new front wing as well. Either that or you got a front wing adjustment. So after all that chaos, we're near the end of this race, and only 11 drivers remain. If one more driver DNFs, everybody is going to be walking away with points. Alright, there it is from race control. Confirmation that safety car is going to be in this lap. So Max is going to be leading them off the start, and he's honestly in a very good position. Henny, I don't think he has the pace to necessarily keep up with Max, but Henny is very good at defending, so he's probably going to act as a little bit of a wall, but Slayer will even more so. I still think that was an unwise decision to stay out on this set of old hard tires, but I guess we're going to find out how well this will pay off as Max will be leading them off. Can he make a good getaway? No he cannot. Henny is right on his heels looking to make a move at the end of turn 1. Henny, getting a little bit close. Max fails to brake properly, and that's gonna send Henny into the lead. What was that? Max made a horrific mistake there. Oh, and Max has dropped down to third. Slayer dropping down position after position. He's already down to 6th place. What was that from Max? That was like the restart at Baku last year where Lewis Hamilton just went straight on. That was eerily similar. But now, it looks like Henny might have a win on his hands, but Max still has something to say about that as he gets back ahead of Zip and is going to be chasing very rapidly after Henny. Now, Slayer's going to be gaining... Oh, are we going 3 wide through here right now? I guess we are. Envy gets ahead of everybody. He's now running in 6th as Ando makes a move on Semi. That was a very risky move, but he made it happen. What are we witnessing right now? This is some of the most insane, yet effective racing I've ever seen. I am surprised. I am very legitimately surprised and impressed there wasn't a horrific crash there. Meanwhile, Fred gets ahead of Gio. There was a little bit of banging wheels there, but Fred is now up into the points. Meanwhile, Anno and Slayer are going wheel to wheel. Sebi looking to join in as well. Slayer dives a little bit. They bang wheels. Ando has to go a little bit wide. But Slayer appears to have had a little bit of an error. Sebi drops down now to 10, and Freddy gets ahead. And indeed, staying out on that set of hard tires was a pretty disastrous mistake on his part. Because now Fred is going to be able to make a move on the inside and manages to get ahead. Still, Slayer has plenty of straight line speed, enough to get alongside Fred. Can he get ahead by the end of this corner? He's going to brake as late as he can, but Fred brakes even more so. Fred is going to be able to maintain plenty of grip, but he's on the outside. That's a bit of a disadvantage. He's going to try his best to remain ahead. Are they about to go through the chicane together? No, they're not. Fred backs out, but Slayer comes to a halt at the chicane, causing Fred to bump into the back of him. Sebi bumps into Fred. Oh, Fred is just getting bumped around right now, and now Gio is going to be looking to put himself ahead. And he's holding on to the lead, but he's got a very angry LP behind him. Meanwhile, we're still seeing a battle back here with Sebi and Slayer. Sebi staying ahead, and now Fred is on the chase. Gio bumps into him, barely leaving the Alfa Romeo any room. Fred is just doing everything he can to find himself ahead. Gio just cutting him off here. Now Fred is going to look his way down the inside. And Gio is just all over the track right now. Fred is just doing the best he can to avoid him. Meanwhile, Max is chasing after Henny. He's got DRS. Henny has no ERS left. Max putting himself on the outside manages to clear Henny to retake the lead. But Henny is not giving up just yet. But I don't think he has any choice left now but to concede. He will have another chance down this straight. Meanwhile, J-Jo's chasing after Fred. Looking to make a move and maybe get onto the podium. Now Ping is chasing after the both of them. Look at the straight line speed he has. It just might be enough to make a move on one of them soon enough. Oh, and he's going to get a good exit here. He's going to get alongside J-Jo. Can he get ahead of the Ferrari by the end of turn 1? I think he just might, and he does. Now he's chasing after Zip. Could Pink make his way onto the podium on the penultimate lap? Meanwhile, Slayer gets... Slayer actually drops down now to 11th. Fred looking to make his way alongside. Oh, and Slayer hits him. Fred is now out of the race. Oh, that's unfortunate for him. Still, I think him wanting to make a dive there at turn 1 was a little bit overambitious for him. Meanwhile, Sebi gets ahead of Ando, who looks like he may have spun out. Either that or he had some kind of error. At the same time, Pink, he's diving around the outside, just out of the DRS straight. He's keeping himself alongside on the inside. Can he get ahead? He does, at least for the moment. But Zip is still keeping alongside. Are they really going side by side through the chicane here? We have a 4-way battle for 3rd place. But Zip struggles on the exit. That is going to drop him down a lot in terms of speed. And that's going to give Pink the advantage. Now he needs to do his best to make a quick getaway. He can't afford to continue battling them, as he's now finally on the podium spot. He can't afford to lose it now. Meanwhile, Henny, he's going to have to put in everything he has left on this final lap if he hopes to take victory. Meanwhile, looks like Slayer and Ando are going wheel to wheel here. Ando manages to get ahead into 9th. Pink is doing the best he can to pull a gap to Zip, but it's not going very well. Zip is keeping right behind and is gaining rapidly. But will he gain enough down this straight? I don't think so. Zip looks to be struggling on a straight line a little bit. Meanwhile, Henny, he's dumped everything he has left. Max still has plenty of ERS left to burn, but it's going to be down to this final back straight. Henny is keeping right on Max's heels. Can he make a move and potentially get a victory? At the same time, Zip is on the chase after Pink. This is going to be a very close finish. And Sebi gets another time penalty. Max is just too rapid on his straight, though. Even with DRS, Henny is not gaining anything. He's actually lost a bit of time. Max's pace has been incredible. He got the maximum points in the sprint, and he's going to get the maximum in the feature. Max is going to take another victory to his name and bring home an incredible result for Alpine. Henny bringing home a podium for AlphaTauri. Pink just taking 3rd ahead of Zipman. Zip chased him right down to the line, but simply couldn't get ahead. Envy 5th, J-Joe 6th, Sebi 7th, Geo 8th, and a 9th, and Slayer 10th, rounding out the points finishers, and also the total finishers, because everybody else DNF'd. And Pink gets a well-earned driver of the day, doing well to make his way up to the podium. I'm going to say, I think Alpine will be very pleased with that. That is going to give them a very nice boost in the combined constructors. AlphaTauri actually second the combined constructors, so that's going to be fantastic. And, wait. Huh? Oh, I think that's including the sprint. It's including the sprint results. Okay, that makes more sense. I was about to say, there's no way MVP Pink there. Okay, that makes much more sense. Indeed, okay. That does explain it. Still, I had to say, that was a very, very thrilling sprint and feature race all the way from beginning to end. Miami has certainly delivered, but I'm looking forward even more so to next week as we go to round 6 to an all-time classic, Silverstone, Britain. We'll be seeing you all then. I've been Mock Mage, and I'll be seeing you all next time.